Now we go to our pros with some more ideas about improving the future of the parklands. And Renee Loth, my dear Renee Loth, editor of Architecture Boston from the Boston Society of Architects and former editorial page editor at the Boston Globe, will talk about the opportunities presented by the realignment of I-90 in Allston for expanded parklands and better access to the river. Renee, take us on.
Okay, well, this is for the Brighton side of the river. And I too want to thank Renata for all the great work you do and for this beautiful publication. I think I was in the first edition, wrote in the first edition of this beautiful river stories. And right now we are faced with an opportunity to reshape this area, one of the greatest opportunities in a generation really, to be part of what's called the Beacon Yards project. And shape it to our needs and our desires more so than necessarily Harvard's or the transportation department or another big institution. So as many of you probably know, Beacon Yards is sort of shorthand for a massive project that the state is undertaking over the next, 7 to 10 years. They plan to remake a huge swath of the Massachusetts Turnpike from the Allston tolls onwards. They want to straighten out this inefficient curve that many of you are familiar with on the Pike and take down the physical toll plaza and make it a better and safer experience of driving. But it also presents us with an opportunity to make a better experience for pedestrians and for bicyclists and just to reveal a large amount, many hundreds, perhaps dozens certainly, of acres of developable land for the first time. You know, the project holds a promise to, for one thing, repair a scar that runs through the neighborhood, from cutting off North Allston from the rest of Allston, very much like the Big Dig created, healed a scar that the central artery had, cut through the city of Boston down by the financial district and down through the north end. The Beacon Yards project has the potential to lower, there's a viaduct there, the elevated part of the Mass Pike there could be re-engineered so that it was lowered to be at grade, not submerged like the Big Dig, but at grade, and this would really improve the connections between those different parts of the neighborhood and access to the river, which is now very dangerous and very difficult. It's just an opportunity to affect public policy and urban design. The Charles River watershed, the Charles River Conservancy, we're here to celebrate tonight, and the Watershed Association, and all of these great agencies that care about the river have done a really good job of trying to protect access and continuous access to the river and its riverfront as the state is remaking all of the bridges along the Charles River. So this is just another opportunity to affect public policy and urban design, and I hope everybody becomes involved. I think that if we, if it's done right, if it's done with people in mind, I think that urban placemaking can be woven into road building, which is now the primary focus of the highway engineers who are working on the Allston, the Beacon Yards project and the highway project, and if we all get together and if the association helps, and with the help of Renata, who's such a force of nature, everybody knows, we can, I think, have the highway designed around the neighborhoods instead of the other way around.
I love it. I love it. Renee Loth, thank you so much. Thank you.
That's my editorial.
I love it. A highway designed around the neighborhoods instead of the other way around. That's perfect. That's just great. Renee and Carl and Bill, thank you very much. Yes, Bill.
Let me just say one thing that follows from what my two colleagues have just said. The reason the Zakin Bridge got built as it did, aesthetically, is that early in that project, someone tossed out the idea, well, shouldn't we be worried about a bridge? We were dealing with issues of what became, a $12 billion project. The Scheme Z was part of. And a couple of people said, why can't we think a little about the bridge? And it might have cost us, let's say it cost us $100,000 or $200,000 to bring Christian men over from Switzerland to come up with a proposal. And let's say that bridge cost another $1 million more than a normal bridge. Out of 12 billion, it was nothing, and no one opposed us. In other words, they wanted to keep us happy, of course, but no one opposed us. And
When they saw the design, you mean?
yeah, when they saw the
So
design,
dream
they didn't
big.
start
Dream
saying this is wasteful. It's going to kill the project. None of that happened because it was such a small amount. So for Renee, I challenged Renee and Renata to come up with a plan that will cost, a couple $1 million and be far less, such a small amount of money compared to what the road builders are going to build on the Mass Pike, that you could probably get it approved.
Yes, and I think actually the some estimate, I can't get the numbers right now, that lowering that viaduct would actually be more cost effective than, because it needs to be repaired all the time now when it's elevated. And what this could do would be to open up a whole, this to talk about dreaming big, a whole kind of new esplanade for Allston, that would be, vast amount of open space there, and not the sort of cramped and beautiful but cramped area that we have now. So, yeah. Dream big.
An esplanade for Allston. That is a very sexy idea. And ladies and gentlemen, you have seen Bill Ron throw down at the feet of Renata and Renee tonight. So back here 7 years from tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you. And Renata, back to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Renee and Carl and Bill.